Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So in this video tutorial, I am going to demonstrate how to configure solution for this topology in the packet tracer. So first you should understand the topology. Okay. So PC0 is in the IP of the PC0 is given. So you can see the IP is 192.168.10.10. So 10.10 you have to go and check in the table. So 190. So the 10.10 belongs to the network ID 192.168.10.0, and the 10.0 network belongs to the VLAN 10. So this PC0 belongs to VLAN 10. So you have to understand this PC belongs to VLAN 10. So that question is answered. Second question, PC1 belongs to which VLAN? 192.168.20.20. So you go and check this. This 20.20 belongs to which network address? This is IP address, right? This belongs to some network. This network. This network belongs to which VLAN? VLAN 20. That means the PC1 belongs to VLAN 20. So now this wireless network, if you take, okay, it is having the internet. This is the WAN network IP. So this is the IP which you are going to configure in this interface here, this interface. So this interface IP address is this 192.168.88.5. So you see 88 belongs to which VLAN? VLAN 88. So this interface belongs to, okay, I mean this connection between this belongs to VLAN 88. Okay. So the PC0 is connecting to the switch through the FA0/24. So this port should be VLAN 10, and PC1 is connecting to the switch through the interface FA0/23. So this port should be VLAN 20, and the wireless router, okay, is connecting to the switch through the interface FA0/24. So it should be VLAN 88. And it should be access mode. This should be access, this should be access. Why access? Because it carries only one VLAN traffic. VLAN 10 here, VLAN 20 here, and VLAN 88 here. Okay, so this is the how you have to understand the topology. You will have a lot of doubts, like where is the gateway? We will discuss that. Okay, we will go slowly. Now regarding this FA0/20, what about this? It is going to be a trunk port. FA0/10 is going to be a trunk which is connecting this switch 2 with the switch 3. So this is trunk. So here you have to go interface FA0/10, okay, and then you have to say switch port mode trunk, and switch port trunk native VLAN 150. So native VLAN is 150. You can see native, and here interface FA0/20 switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk native VLAN 150. So this is also trunk, you have to configure native VLAN, and this is also trunk, you have to configure native VLAN. Okay. Now what about the FA0/1? This is also trunk native VLAN 150, and this is also trunk native VLAN 150. So first of all, so far in this video, what you have understood? You have understood that the PC0 belongs to VLAN 10, PC1 belongs to VLAN 20. How you know? From the table you can understand. And the wireless router connection to the switch is VLAN 88, and this FA020 is trunk, this FA0/10 is trunk, and this one FA0/20 is trunk, and FA0/10 is trunk, and FA0/1 connection to the poly A router is trunk, FA0/2 connection to the poly B router is also trunk. So this is a basic thing you have to understand. And regarding the IP address, okay, so for the PC0 IP is given, and the PC1 also IP is given, and the wireless router, okay, there are two IP addresses given. So here, so if you go to this is the WAN port. So you have to go here, you have to configure static IP, and in the static IP, okay, this internet IP address, the IP address which is given under the interface internet, should be given for the, okay, as a static IP here at the top, but the default gateway is still not decided, right? But I give you a clue. The clue is very simple. It belongs to which VLAN? 88, right? So it belongs to VLAN 88. That means the default gateway should be 192.168.88.1. Okay, so here 192.168.88 88.5 is the IP address, and then the subnet mask is 255.255, and this one is 128. Be careful with this, 128. And the default gateway is, so what is the this is in VLAN 88, so you can easily judge 192.168.88.1. so this is the IP which you should give in HSRP. HSRP, this is the virtual IP which you have to give under the VLAN 88 interface. So very simple technique is VLAN 88, okay, so the default gateway should be this could be a good convention, that the first IP is the IP which is allocated to the default gateway, and then you come down and then you configure the IP for the inside network. This is the inside network. So 10, okay, 10, and this is 1, and subnet mask is this. Okay, so just disable and enable. So in case in the exam they say what should be the starting IP, okay, let's say go down, save settings. So when you save settings, it's changed now. So suppose the starting IP address should be like 50, then this should be the 50, and how many IP address you should allocate for the client machines, let's say 30 or 40. Check the exam. If the exam is not giving any numbers, then leave the default one. I mean default values for the starting IP and the maximum IP, not the IP address. Definitely this IP would be given, and definitely the IP for the WAN port or the internet port would be given. Okay, so this is how we configure the WAN port. And then similarly, let's come to the IP for the PC. So let's say 10.0, but what's the subnet mask? It's not given in the topology. But you just go, the 10.0 belongs to 10.10, this belongs to 10.0, right? So 192.168.10.0 is the network address. It has 192.168.10.1, okay, 192.168.10.2, and so on. Okay, so it has many IP address. Okay, so 192.168.10.254 and so on. Is it clear to you? So 255 is for the broadcast. So now, so one of the IP is 192.168.10.10. So the 10.10, okay, is coming under the 10.0 network, right? So for 10.0 network, what is a subnet mask? 255.255.255.0. So that is a subnet mask for this PC0 also. Okay, let's so for the PC 192.168.10.0. Okay, the first question is what's the subnet mask? Just go to the topology and check. Okay, so you go to the topology and check. So the network, this IP belongs to this network, and this network has this subnet mask. So that's the subnet mask for this PC also. Okay, so the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. So now next question coming is, what's the default gateway? So basically we have two routers as the default gateway, HSRP concept. Suppose one router fails, then the other router would become the active router. Okay, so that's a concept, fault tolerance. So when you configure the HSRP, you have to configure the default gateway for each and every VLAN. So each and every VLAN is going to have the separate default gateway, right? So now for the VLAN 88, okay, so what's the default gateway you have given for the VLAN 88? So the default gateway is 1. So similarly for the VLAN 10, okay, so the convention can be, okay, so the default gateway can be, so default gateway can be 192.168.10.1. so same, this IP where you have to configure is in HSRP under the virtual IP. You have to configure this for the VLAN 10, and this is IP for the VLAN 20, and the default gateway okay is for the VLAN 20 is 192.168.20.1. 20.1 is the default gateway for the VLAN 20. I hope things are clear now. So you have to go and configure the so this is IP, this is I mean the subnet mask, this is the default gateway. So this is IP for the this machine PC1, and subnet mask, and the default gateway is the VLAN number .1. So now we configure the IP for the PC0, PC1 as well as for the wireless router. Now let's configure the connection between these two systems, between the wireless router and the laptop. So if you go to the laptop, okay, so you need the wireless router. So just so just power off this and remove this and put this wireless adapter. Okay, so then go to desktop. Okay, before that, power on this desktop. Okay, connections, connect. So you can see the wireless router name is coming here. Yeah, it's coming here. Then connect. So before we do this connect, actually we have to do something here in the wireless router. Go to the wireless. Okay, so just go to the topology here. So any information is given, yes, WPA personal, and the key is this. Okay, so go to this wireless router and wireless security. So WPA personal, and the passphrase or the key is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, check the exam question paper. Okay, then if you want, let's say the SSID, if you want, you can give the name. Example, I give my name Shimaz here. Okay, save the settings. Okay, then go here, refresh. So I close this stuff. Okay, then connect. Shimaz is coming. Connect. So it is asking what is the security. So we have selected the WPA personal, and the key is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So give connect, and then you can see the link information. So it's successfully connected. And also after you connect, okay, you can go and check IP config. So you can see this is IP that has been allocated to this laptop. So this connection is over. So this IP configuration is over. This IP configuration is over. So next, actually you have to configure the switch port and all access port. That will come because we have to go to the switch port configuration only after you configure the VTD domain, VTP password, and so on. But before that, you proceed to the routers and fix the IP address. Okay, so let's go to the poly A router. Okay, so the poly A router, let's say has two interfaces. Okay, so the interfaces are, if you don't see the interface number here, just go to options, preferences, and show always port labels, this one. Okay, so now I think we have to configure the IP address. Now for here, this topology, let's say this, only this network address is given, but no IP address is given, right? So you always adopt this strategy. Network address is 190, sorry, 12.12.12.0, right? And /30. So this is the network address. So for this network address has 12.12.12.1 IP address, 12.12.12.2 IP address. Okay, and the subnet mask is 255.255.252, and and the wildcard mask is 0.0.0.3. So now this is how you have to derive the IP address. Okay, so this is how you derive the IP address from the network address. Suppose in the exam, let's say they are giving like 13.13.13.0/30. So you can derive the IP address like this: 13.13.13.1, 13.13.13.2, okay, and so on, like this. So now we go, okay, and it was off, so it was giving us the trouble. So enable, okay, show run. So you can see the interfaces. Okay, so we are concerned about the serial interfaces, not the fast internet. So we have a serial interface 03/0, okay, and 03/1. Okay, so we have this 03/0, okay, this is the 03/0 and 03/0. So this is the serial interface, okay. So we have two interfaces, okay. So I'm going to the serial 03/0, which is connecting this router with this router. Okay, how I know the interface name? Preference, show port labels, okay. So then I go to that interface, config T, so interface serial 0/3/0, okay, and now the network address for this is this 12.12.0. So already I discussed. So if you are getting 12.12.0 like this, okay, then this is the IP address. Take this and okay, so let's give 12.12.2 here and 12.12.1 here, okay. Because for this router, this is the gateway, okay, so the traffic is going to go out through this. So let's give the one here. So IP address 12.12.12.2, subnet mask is 255.255.255.252, okay, clock rate is like 128, okay, it's not an issue. Then no shutdown, okay, then go here, so the other end, okay, so just switch on the router, So better to configure the host name. Config t host name is internet, and for this please configure the host name as poly A. So now interface, okay, SE 0/3/0 IP address, okay, 12.12.12.1 255.255.252, okay, clock rate, okay, no shutdown. So now you can see this, the link is up, this link is up. So now we configure the IP here as well as we configure the IP here, understand? So next let's configure the IP here and here. So 11.11.11.0, okay, okay, so 11.2 and 11.1 are the IP address, okay. So now we can go to this, so let us keep this interface as 11.1 and this interface as 11.2, okay. So I go to here, interface SE, see the interface number SE, be careful, 0/3/1 IP address, okay, 11.11.11.1 255.255.252. So clock rate 64, sorry, 128, no shutdown, okay. So it will be showing us down because you have to enable the other end also, then only it will be up, okay. So now you go here, so it is off, just power on this, where is the power button, where is the power button, here. So here wait for some time. So now go to the router, config t host name poly D, okay, then interface SE 0/3/1 IP address 11.11.11.2 255.255.252, okay, no shutdown. So you can see both the interfaces are up. So we have done the IP address configurations for the serial connections. However, now this router is connecting with this switch, okay, through the gig 0/0 interface, and this switch is connected with this poly B through the gig 0/0 interface. So now this here, this is the gateway for the entire network. These two interfaces are going to be the gateways. Why we need two gateways? Suppose one gateway fails, then the other gateway would become active. So let us so how we are going to do this? We are going to configure the HSRP, but before that we go and configure the VTP. Okay. Or so VTP has to be configured between these three switches. The main idea behind the VTP is when you configure the VTP, it is enough that you create the VLAN in one switch and that information would be replicated to the other switches. So one of the three switch is going to be the server switch. So in the question, if you see the exam topology here, switch 1 and 2 going to be the client and switch 3 is going to be the server. And also for the switches you have to configure the IP addresses and so on. So this is switch 1, this is switch 2, this is switch 2, and this is switch 3. So as far as the topology given, switch 3 is a server, right? So go to the switch 3, this is the switch 3, S3. So configure the host name, config T, okay, host name S3, okay, then VTP domain, VTP mode server. So it is telling already server. By default all the switches are in server mode, okay. And then VTP password, you have to configure the domain name as well as the password, which would be given in the exam. So VTP domain name is Cisco and the VTP password is PASS. So VTP domain is Cisco and VTP password is pass. I hope you got this now. So now this becomes the server, and then you have to configure the VTP client here, VTP domain here, VTP password here. Then you have to configure the VTP client here, VTP domain as well as VTP password. So I go to the switch S1, okay, enable config T, and then host name is S1, okay, VTP domain, sorry, VTP mode is client, then VTP domain Cisco, then VTP password is us. Suppose if the password is not matching, if the domain is not matching, then the VLAN information would not be replicated to the S1 switch. And you have to go to the S2 also and do the same thing here, config T, host name S2, and VTP mode is client, okay, VTP password, VTP domain is Cisco, and VTP password is pass. Okay, so we have configured the VTP information. So once the VTP information is done, then what you have to do is you have to go and create the VLAN. Okay, so the VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 88, VLAN 150. So you go here, okay, then VLAN 10, name is student, okay, exit, okay, VLAN 20, name is faculty, exit, VLAN 88, name is wireless, exit, then VLAN 150, name is management slash native, okay, exit. So and show VLAN. So you can see the VLANs are created in the switch S3, okay, management, okay. So you go to S1, okay, because already we have configured the VTP, so the VLAN should be available in S1, right, but it will not be available. I'll tell what's the reason. Exit, show VLAN. It's there, already there, it's fine, but sometimes you will not get actually. Why? I have configured the trunk mode here and I have configured the trunk mode here already. I have done. Unless or until you configure FA0/20 as trunk, FA0/20 as trunk here, the VLAN information from switch 3 would not come to S1. But already I have done, that's why it's coming. But in your exam, you go to S1 after immediately configuring the VTP and after immediately configuring the VLAN. Okay, if you go and check S1, it will not come. Why? Because you should fix the trunk here, fix the trunk here. That's what we are going to do next. So next what we are going to do is, okay, let me quickly give a recap of what we have done so far. We have created the topology and then we have configured the IP address for the PC0, PC1 and wireless internet port or WAN port, and also we configured the wireless as well as the VPA personal connection between the laptop on this. Okay, then we configured the IP for the router connection between the poly A and the internet and the poly B, and we have figured out how to distribute the IP address. Okay, that's the main challenge exists with some students. And also for PC0 and PC1, how to figure out the VLAN and how to figure out the default gateway and how to figure out the default gateway for the WAN port which is in the VLAN 88, which is connected to the VLAN 88. And then we went to the VTP part and we configured the VTP server, VTP client, as well as we configured the VTP domain and VTP password. And then what next is awaiting is, you start from the S1 and then go to S3 and go to S2. You have to configure the trunk and access ports. So for S1 you have two interfaces, FA0/24 and FA0/20. FA0/24 is connecting with the PC, right? And the PC is in which VLAN? VLAN 10. So this is VLAN 10. So this is FA0/24. This interface obviously is going to be in VLAN 10 and access port, and this one is going to be in VLAN 20. So FA0/23, you can see FA0/23 is going to be in VLAN 20 access port, and this one is in VLAN 8, and so this is going to be in VLAN 88. So this is going to be in VLAN 88. And FA0/20 is a trunk port, FA0/20 is a trunk port, FA0/10 is a trunk, FA0/10 is trunk, FA0/2 is trunk, FA0/1 is trunk, and the native VLAN is 150. So this is the next task what we are going to do. Okay, I'll show this now. So in the next process we are going to make this switch S1. We are going to configure the interfaces. Config T interface FA0/24. So now you know whether they are this interface has to be configured to which VLAN, PC0, and it is in VLAN 10. Okay, so switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, so in case you get a error like what is the error, the VLAN information is not available. So what you have to do is you have to delay this command, because from here the VLAN has to come here, information has to come here. So now already I have done the configuration, so I was able to do this command, but in case the VLAN information is not there, don't worry, just put the mode in access mode, then the VLAN will come, the VLAN information will come here. So better I avoid this. Okay, I do this like no switch port access VLAN 10. So I avoid this. Okay, and I go, the way you will be doing in your when you configure the topology. Okay, so I just put the FA0/24 in access mode. I didn't configure the VLAN yet. Okay, then interface, then I go to FA0/20. I go to this interface, and then I say switch port mode trunk. Okay, switch port mode trunk. Okay, I am not configuring the native VLAN also, because till now the S1 did not receive the VLAN information from the switch S3. Okay, so I just make switch port mode trunk, that's all. So once you've done, okay, so this is in access mode and this one is in trunk mode, and then what I do is I go to this one. So here we have three interfaces. FA0/20 is going to be in trunk, and FA0/1 is going to be in trunk, FA0/2 is going to be in trunk. Okay, so I go here, enable config T, okay, and then interface FA0/20 switch port mode trunk, and then interface FA0/1 switch port mode trunk, interface FA0/2 switch port mode trunk. So we have configured these three interfaces, FA0/20 and this FA0/1 and FA0/2. They are we have put them in trunk, and also there is one more interface here. Okay, so interface FA0/10. Okay, FA0/10, port switch port mode trunk. So this particular switch, all the four interfaces are in trunk mode, and then we come here to the switch S2. Okay, so we go to the S2, enable. Okay, then let's say go to config T, interface. Okay, FA0/10, the top one, this is going to be trunk. So switch port mode trunk, and then this FA0/23 is access. So interface FA0/23 switch port mode access. Okay, then this one FA0/24 is access. So interface FA0/24 switch port mode access. So once you've done this, okay, so what we have done is, like, we configured the interfaces FA0/24 in the access, and FA0/20 in trunk, FA0/20 in trunk, FA0/10 in trunk, and FA0/2 in trunk, FA0/1 in trunk, and then in switch S2 FA0/10 in trunk, FA0/23, this one is access, and FA0/24 also in access. Okay, so now once you have done, okay, you can go and check show VLAN command, and now you can see that we configured the VLAN in S3, but through the VTP the VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 88 and VLAN 150 informations are copied to the S2, as well as if you go and check the S1 and show VLAN, okay, you can see that VLAN information has been copied. So once you confirm that the VLAN informations are copied, then you can assign the interfaces to the specific VLAN. Okay, so until you execute the show VLAN command and ensure that the VLAN informations are copied to the S1 and S2, until then you don't assign the interfaces to a specific VLAN. Okay, so config T, okay, then interface, again we repeat FA0/24. okay, you know this interface. Already we have assigned this interface as access mode. Okay, so let's say already this command is finished. Switch port mode access, already this is finished, so no need to repeat again. Okay, and so we can go like switch port access VLAN 10, so it's VLAN 10. Okay, and then we go to the FA0/20 interface, FA0/20. okay, switch port mode trunk, already we have done this command, so no need to repeat again. Okay, even if you do, it's not a mistake, so already we have done this. Is it clear? So I'm not going to repeat. Switch port trunk. Okay, so we are going to configure the native VLAN. Switch port trunk native. Okay, VLAN is 150. So you can see your topology. Okay, the native VLAN is 150. You can see management and native. So 150. Okay, okay, for then consistent local VLAN. Okay, it's and show VLAN, so 150, yeah, native VLAN. Okay, so no problem. So we go to the uh, so we go to this switch, okay, and we configure the interfaces. Okay, so in the S3, okay, we go like okay, we go and so let's go to interface FA0/20. Okay, FA0/20 we go and switch port mode trunk. Already this command we have configured, so no need to do again. Okay, switch port trunk native VLAN 150. Okay, so this part is over. Then let me go to FA0/10. Okay, so already we have configured um, this command. Already we have configured switch port mode trunk, so we don't need this command. So now we need is this switch port trunk native VLAN 150, and then we go to interface FA0/2. Okay, so interface FA0/2. Okay, so switch port mode trunk already we have configured. Again I repeat, so no need to do that. So go to switch port trunk native VLAN 150. Okay, then interface FA0/1 we go. Okay, switch port trunk native VLAN 150. Okay, so no shutdown. Okay, so we have configured these interfaces. Okay, then let's move on to this switch S2 config T. Okay, config T and interfaces. Okay, interface FA0/10 at the top. Okay, so this one FA0/10, this one. Okay, so it is a trunk switch port mode trunk. Already this command we have given, so no need to repeat. Okay, switch port trunk native VLAN 150. Okay, so next go to interface, this one which is connecting to the PC one, this one FA0/23, FA0/23 switch port mode access. Already we have given this command, so no need to repeat again. Switch port access VLAN, this is VLAN 20. So FA0/23 belongs to VLAN 20, and then this FA0/24 is connecting to the wireless router and it belongs to VLAN 88. Okay, so interface okay, interface FA0/24. Okay, switch port mode access, that command already. Switch port mode access, that command already I have given, so no need to repeat again. So switch port access VLAN 88. Okay, so I hope this up to this is clear to you. Now we have finished assigning all the interfaces, you know, like access and trunk, and then we have put them in access mode in specific VLAN, and then we have configured native, trunk, and for trunk we have configured the native VLAN. Okay, so now we are in the process of like configuring the IP address for this interface. We did not configure the IP for this interface gateway, that is giga 0/0, then giga 0/0 poly B. Okay, we did not configure the IP. Okay, before we configure, yeah, let's configure the IP. Let's go to poly A, enable, config T. Okay, so what's happening, what we have to do is like this is single interface, and this interface, okay, through this interface 4 VLAN traffics are going to pass through. So for each VLAN we need a separate gateway, so keep this in your mind. And why we need 2 routers is like, if one router is failed, if one router is not working, then the traffic would go through another router. So we will configure the gateway IP address. For each VLAN there is a separate gateway, and also you have to understand that this when you configure the IP address to the routers for each VLAN, okay, there is only one physical interface. Okay, let's say here it is giga 0/0. So (0/0), maybe in your topology you choose fast Ethernet 0/0. So whatever the case may be, okay, we have only one physical interface, but in our scenario we have 4 VLANs: VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 80, VLAN 88, and VLAN 150. However, we have only one physical interface, maybe giga 0/0 or fast Ethernet 0/0. Okay, so whatever the case, but we have 4 VLANs. For each VLAN we need a separate interface, which is not possible with the routers. Okay, because so now here it's 4 VLANs, so you need 4 interface. If suppose let's say 20 VLANs, the routers, it is very difficult for the routers to support that many number of interfaces. So what we are going to do is, we are going to split this interface. Okay, so like interface giga, okay, 0/0 or fast Ethernet. Please check what interface you have. Okay, dot 10, this is for VLAN 10. Then you have to assign IP address. Okay, we have 2 routers. Okay, so we have router here poly A and poly B. So we are in, let's say, poly A. Okay, so for VLAN 10 we configure like 192.168, okay, 10.2. let's start from 2. Subnet mask 255.255.0. So if you have confusion, please go through the topology for, okay, 192. Okay, so this is the subnet mask. Okay, so after you configure the IP address, okay, so we configure the IP address. Before that, you have to give one more command. So if you give the IP address directly in the interface, it will throw an error. So you have to say encapsulation, okay, dot 1Q10, so VLAN 10. Okay, then so these are for the inter-VLAN communication. So there are 4 VLANs, and these 4 VLANs traffics pass through this this router gateway. So we want to configure, for each interface specific IP address. Okay, for each VLAN we want to give a specific interface. So this is for VLAN 10. Then let's say for VLAN 20 also we have to configure here. So just change 20 and 20, and you know what is the VLAN IP address, 20 IP address 20.0. okay, so 20.2, this is VLAN 20, and we have two more VLANs, right? So this is for VLAN 88, so VLAN 88, and this is for VLAN 88, and this is for VLAN 150, 150. Okay, so we have configured 4 VLANs now. Sorry, 4 interfaces, sub interfaces for each VLAN. Okay, so this would allow the inter-VLAN communication. So this we are doing in the poly A router. Now you have to do in the poly B also, same like this. So this is poly A, same thing you have to do in the poly B also. Okay, so this is in poly B router. Okay, but the IP address should not be same, the IP address should be different. You know, the IP address should be unique, right? So here in this case, for each VLAN choose a 3 and 3. So once you've done this, okay, so once you've done this, the inter-VLAN communication between the routers are allowed now. So from one VLAN the communication can go to another VLAN. So we have configured that. It is called router on a stick. So let me give you a quick recall. So in the poly A router, okay, you have configured the sub interface for VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 88 and VLAN 150, and you enable the .1Q10 tagging for that particular VLAN, and then you have configured the IP address. Okay, and then finally you can go like interface gig or fast Ethernet 0/0 no shutdown. Don't forget to give this command. Okay, then same thing you have to do with the this one also. But now this is for inter-VLAN communication. Now we want one more concept implemented, that is called HSRP. So if we have two gateway routers, so the traffic from the local area network would pass through which gateway, this one or this one? Okay, it's a big question. So we have to make one router as active router and another router as the standby router. So the traffic would be flowing through the gateway, default gateway, and already if you have seen that we have selected the default gateway IP address as 10.1 and here also 20.1. okay, and this is for VLAN 20, and you can go here and check this is for VLAN so VLAN 88 also, this is the default gateway 1. So where to configure this .1? Okay, so you go here here, so you have to say for each VLAN standby version 2. then you have to say stand by, so group number 10 for VLAN 10, this is the group number, okay, stand by 10 IP. So here you have to give the default gateway 192.168.10.1. This is the virtual IP and this is the default. This is going to be the default gateway for the VLAN 10 traffic. VLAN 10 traffic. So now for the VLAN 20 traffic, okay, stand by version 2 stand by 20. The group number is 20 now for the VLAN 20. IP 192.168.20.1. And same way you have to configure for the VLAN 88. It's going to be 88 and the group number is going to be 88. And then for the VLAN 150, it's going to be VLAN 150 and also the group number is going to be 150. So this is for the HSRP configurations. Okay, so you are configuring the default gateway, and this gateway IP you have to give in the PCs and in the wireless routers. So now same thing, copy this, and this you are doing in poly A router. You are doing in the poly A router. You have to do the same thing in the poly B router. So go to the poly B router. Okay, so go to the poly B router. Same, nothing, no difference. Give that. Okay, then this is for VLAN 10 and this is for VLAN 20. So you go to VLAN 20 here. Okay, and VLAN 88. So whatever you do in the poly A, you do it in the poly B also, and this default gateway IP address, this virtual IP, both in poly A and poly B, it's going to be same, but this one is going to be different. Here 20.3 and there 20.2 and so on. Okay, so go here, copy this and put it here. So now you have configured the HSRP almost. So now let's say you have two routers. Which one of the two routers you prefer? Let's say I prefer the poly A and I want this to be the default router always. Then in that situations you have to configure the higher priority for the poly A router. So you can use this command, standby group number 10, priority is let's say the default priority number for all the routers are 100. So you want to increase the priority for the 150 for the poly A router so that it would get selected in all the situations. Okay, so go here, this is 20 and this is 20, this is going to be 88. Okay, and I think we forgot to assign the IP here, so it's going to be 150 and this 150 and this. So for the, so now we have given the higher priority for the poly A router, so that the poly A router would be elected as active router in case both the poly A and poly B are online. And one more command, that is standby, okay, 10 preempt is given, so that if two routers are active and let's say the poly A router is has high priority, you want that poly A to be elected as the active router immediately without any delay. So in that situations you have to have given this command. Otherwise, sometimes, even though in some situations, even though the poly A has high priority, still the poly B would be active router. So to avoid that situations, so you can give this command preempt. So preempt means immediately you want this particular router to be the active one for a specific VLAN. Okay, I hope this is correct. Yeah. So these two commands are optional to you in the in the poly B router. Why they are optional? Because let's say I prefer the poly A as the active router, then I give high priority and I give the preempt command. So always the poly A get elected as the active router since it has a high priority. Okay, so here the configuring the poly B, the high priority is optional to you. So let me go here and do the configurations. Enable, I'm in poly B router, so I haven't yet configured the name, host name. So config t host name poly A. Okay, exit. So now interface giga 0/0 giga 0/0 dot 10. Okay, so you know what's IP address, encapsulation dot 1Q10 VLAN 10. IP address is 192.168.10.2. I'm in poly A. Okay, 255.255.0. okay, then standby version 2, standby group number 10, IP, this is the default gateway IP, 192.168.10.1. okay, standby group number 10. okay, standby 10. okay, let me configure the priority 150, standby 10 priority already I configured. So preempt. So I hope I have configured everything here. Yeah, so I have done for the VLAN 10. okay, then interface FA, not FA, giga 0/0 dot 20. okay, encapsulation dot 1Q20. IP address 192.168.20.2, 255.255.255.0. Okay, then standby version 2, standby IP 192.168.168 20.1. Okay, then standby group number, oh I made a mistake, standby, so I give no command, I remove this stuff. Standby group number 20, IP address 192.168.168.20.1. So this is okay, so it is in group 0. So by default that we made a mistake. So what's the mistake? This IP address has been allocated to group 0. So I want to remove that from the group 0. Standby, no standby. Okay, group 0, IP 192.168.20.1. Fine, excellent, good. Okay, so we made a mistake. This is very good because maybe like while during the exam time some students forgot to give the group number, and then it might give you trouble. Okay, so now let's say standby group number 20 and IP address 192.168.20.1. Superb, it's working. Okay, standby, let's say what else, standby 20 priority, okay, 150, standby 20, okay, preempt. Okay, so we have finished for VLAN 20. So now we move on to interface giga 0/0.88. But before I go into that, I think we make some mistake in the subnet mask for 88. Please check, go and check your topology. I think the VLAN 88, the subnet mask is 128. So 128. Okay, so 128 means this should be I think 2. Okay, let me check what is 128. I'm sorry, 128. So this is a mistake, students. Take care. The same mistake you can commit in the exam also. Be careful with this. This is 128, and here also it's 128. Subnet mask is 128. Okay, so let's check whether we make any mistake here. Yeah, it's correct, 128. So we are in the poly A Okay, so for the interface giga 0/0.88, okay, encapsulation uh, dot 1q, so dot 1q 88, then IP address 192.168.88.2 255.128. So this is a place where one has to be very careful. Then standby version 2, standby group number 88 IP. This is the gateway IP 192.168.88.1. okay, and standby group number 88, priority is 150, standby 88 group number preempt. Okay, so we have finished for the group number 88. Then we go for interface giga 0 slash interface giga 0/0.150. okay, then okay, encapsulation dot 1q 150 tagging. Okay, IP address, okay, so 192.168.150 dot 255.255. check the subnet mask in the topology given to you. Okay, standby okay, version 2, standby IP. okay, so be careful here, you might make mistake. 150 group number, IP address 192.168.150 dot 1. okay, then standby group number 150, priority 150, standby 150 group number preempt. So it's fine now. So after you finish, okay, check your configuration using the show run command. So we have done perfectly. Then okay, check each and every line. 20.2, so it's correct. 88.1 correct. Yes, fine. So once you have done these things, what you do is, I prefer, okay, configuring this to the running configuration, to the startup configuration using write command, WR. Very simple. Okay, so even if it restarts, it's not going to affect the configurations. So poly A finished, then we go to poly B, enable. So you do the same thing, but the IP address should be .3.3.3, except the gateway it should be .1. So go to config T, interface gig 0/0.10. okay, so encapsulation. So let me try this, copy and paste stuff. So oh, sorry, I made a mistake. So don't try this. Interface gig 0/0.10 encapsulation dot 1q10 encapsul. Okay, then IP address. IP address configured, and then the standby version 2, and then standby IP. This is the default gateway. So interface, okay, let me go to the second one. Encapsulation dot 1q20 so be careful here. The IP address what I am giving is 20.3.10.3, okay, and for the interface, and then gateway IP or the virtual IP is 1. And also you can see the priority number, they are optional here, since I prefer the poly A as the default router. And then we move on to the next VLAN, and encapsulation so again I emphasize that be careful with the subnet mask, because all the VLANs they will not give with the same subnet mask. 1 or 2 VLANs would have different subnet mask. Be careful with that. So this is a virtual IP for the VLAN 88, and this is same for both poly A and poly B. So once you're done with all the commands, you can go to interface gig 0/0 and you can say no shutdown. So all the interfaces will be up, and go to end. Okay, show run command and check everything whether it has been properly configured or not, and then okay, write command, and this will. Okay, so this is now we have finished the HSRP and Inter-VLAN communication. Good. So what else is remaining is, okay, so one more thing I forgot to, you can see this red color and whereas it's green color here. Even though we configured the IP address for the different VLAN interfaces, still it's red. So go to the poly A router. Okay, then go to config T and interface gig 0/0 no shutdown command. So this I forgot to give, so we are just making the interfaces up. Okay, it's fine now. So everything is green now, there's no red. So far things are moving in the right direction, positive. Okay, so next what is remaining are like we have to configure the this OSPF, right, or EIGRP. So let me save this and configure as two labs, one for EIGRP and one for OSPF. Okay, lab exercise. Okay, OSPF with OSPF. Okay, OSPF, EIGRP, and one for OSPF. So now I am going to demonstrate the OSPF. So go to the internet now. So this router is connected with 12.12.0 and 11.11.0, so two networks, and this poly A is connected with 12.12.0 and also four interfaces, sub interfaces, 192, 168, 10 network, 20, 88, and this is 150. Okay, so we have to configure the OSPF. So go here, enable. So write this command, I forgot to give, whatever we have configured it should be there. Okay, so config T router, okay, OSPF, okay, process ID is 10. Okay, so network, two networks it is connecting, one is 12.12.12.0 and the wildcard mask is 0.0.0.3. if it is /30 it is 3. So please, if you have any issues regarding the wildcard mask, okay, already I have demonstrated in the class. 255.255 minus subnet mask is equal to wildcard mask. Again I repeat, wildcard mask is equal to 255.255.255.255 minus subnet mask. So 255.255.255.255 minus 255.255.255.252 is equal to 0.0.0.3. Okay, so network area 0, router OSPF 10, network, yeah, so I made a very stupid thing here. Okay, then network 11.11.11.0 0.0.0.3. Okay, so it's incomplete, it's telling I forgot area 0. Okay, students, so wild card mask is equal to 255 255 255 255 minus subnet mask 255 255 255.252 is equal to 0.0.0.3. okay, so be careful with this. So we have finished this configurations. So end, show run. Okay, you can see the OSPF configuration at the bottom here. In case you make any mistake, you can go and use a no command and remove and do it again. So I write, okay, then I go here. So this is going to be little tricky to you, be careful. So exit, come to config mode, and then here, so router, okay, OSPF 10 process, okay, then network. So this router is connected with this network 12, as well as at the down there are 4 VLAN networks. Okay, so at the top, okay, the network is 12.12.12.0 and wildcard mask is 0.0.0.3. okay, so area 0. So this has been finished now. So next one, so just now you remember we configured four sub interfaces: 10.2, 20.2, 88.2, 150. okay, so forget the 2 and all, just we need up to this 192. This is the network address, this is the network address 20, and this is the 88 network, and this is 150 network. So basically what is given here is this interface has 4 networks for each VLAN. So we have to configure in the OSPF. So we are in the poly A. Okay, so we are in the poly A. Yes, we are in the poly A. Okay, then network. Okay, network 192.168.10.0. okay, because if you have confusion, just go to your topology. This network you have to add, very simple, but be careful, this is not 15, this is 150. okay, so what's the wildcard mask is 0.0.0.255 area 0, and then network 192.168.20.0. okay, 250 wildcard mask 0.0.0.255. so I forgot area 0, and then okay, 168.88.0 area 0, but be careful here, the wildcard mask is subnet mask is 128, means the wildcard mask will be 27. Wildcard mask is 0.0.0.127 area 0. Okay, if you want you can like this, like 255, the last digit, last octet, 255 minus 128 is 127. Okay, so then network 192.168.150.0, okay, 0.0.0.255 area 0. So we have configured perfectly in the poly A. Okay, and now we move on to poly B. So we have poly B is connected with network 11, and here sub interface all these networks 10, 20, 88 and 150. So please be careful, don't give the IP address, I want the network address. So at least while configuring the OSPF, look into this table and just calculate the wildcard mask from the subnet mask and put it here. So after you do this, okay, so go end and show run command and check the OSPF. Check the OSPF, it's perfect. Okay, and so you put write command once again to copy things to the start of configurations. So config T, config T, then router OSPF 10 network 11.11.11.0 0.0.0.3. so this network /30 means it is wildcard mask is 0.0.0.3. okay, then area 0. okay, then again you add all the network like 10, all these networks you have to add. Network 192.168.10.0 0.0.0.255 area 0, then network 192.168.20.0 0.0.0.255 area 0. okay, what's the problem? 120.0, yeah, perfect. okay, then so then network 192.168.88.0 0.0.0.127. be careful here in the wildcard mask area 0, and network 192.168.150.0, not 15, it is 150 0.0.0.255 area 0. so with this the OSPF configuration is completed in all the routers. okay, so go to the show run command and check whether the configurations are correct. Go down OSPF. okay, everything all right, perfect. okay, so write and copy to the startup configurations. so with this we are finishing all the configurations, and okay, so we have PAP and CHAP remaining. what is that? PPP, CHAP and PAP is remaining. so we need PAP here, and we need CHAP here, Okay, so however we I think I finished almost everything, so I should be able to ping from PC0 to PC1, and from laptop to PC0, and from laptop to PC1, and this same thing should be possible even after configuring the chap and path. Okay, let me do it now. So let me check whether I am able to ping from PC0 to PC1. Successful, I am able to ping, and from PC0 to PC1, yeah, pinging. So from here to PC0 it's successful, and then from laptop to the PC0 it's successful, and from laptop to PC1 it is successful. So our topology is perfect now. Only one thing is remaining is like we want to configure the PAP and CHAP between this between the poly A and the internet router. I want the CHAP authentication PPP, and between the internet and the poly B I want the PAP authentication. So that I would put it as a separate video. Okay, thank you very much.